If I've learned anything over the last 20 years of being in the world of sports tech, it's that hardware is hard. I've learned this lesson even more so recently by helping a new founder who's building out microchipped golf balls. It's an incredible endeavor, but it's really hard. But here's what I want to help you understand if you're watching this, is that I'm going to be talking about two things: hardware like a launch monitor and hardware like a traditional training aid. The only way that these things can survive, in my opinion, is by bolting on a software component. So the obvious solution, if you're building something like a launch monitor, is to have a monthly or annual subscription that gives them access to more data, different golf courses per chance, and it also gives them the firmware updates that they're going to need to continue to use that piece of hardware. That's a no-brainer, pretty easy, right? And understandably, if they're sticky and they stay around, they're going to invite people in to participate into that experience, and that leads to more sales of the hardware. And then when it's time to upgrade their hardware, they're still in your ecosystem, so you can resell it maybe for a discount in addition to that ongoing subscription. So you've really increased the overall lifetime value of that customer, and you've reduced your churn because you're giving them something to participate in rather than just the hardware. Recently, I saw a Kickstarter campaign for somebody that's building an in-your-pocket launch monitor. Everybody's trying to do these smaller and better ones. But where they're going to fail, even though they've raised some money, and not much, but they've raised enough, I think, to get started, they're saying no subscription fees ever. That is the kiss of death, and that to me signals that they don't really understand the market that they're entering into. All right, now we're going to talk about hardware in relationship to training aids. Again, I've been in sports tech for a long, long time. I was a golf coach previously, so I purchased all these training aids. I was a professional golfer before that, so I used a lot of training aids. Most training aids are actually really good. The problem is most people that buy the training aids never actually use them. The reality is that if you want someone to stick with that training aid, you need to get them in the long game of content. So it's not enough just to buy that aid. They need immediate access to content that educates them continually on how to use it, new ways, better ways, and they have a connection to that brand. And a lot of times training aids are created by coaches, so it's a complete no-brainer for them to stay connected to that coach, potentially even receive coaching, go to a golf school, let's say, right? So if you're in the world of training aids and you've got this great idea, just make sure that as you launch, you've got a content strategy and an ongoing subscription strategy, because that one-time sale is going to be very difficult to make millions and millions in time over. Whereas if you can sell 10 to 20,000 units and keep a percentage of that audience on an ongoing subscription, you will win without having to constantly innovate and sell more physical product. The lesson here is that you need to maintain a relationship with that user, give them something sticky, and allow them to continually stay in your universe and continually pay you instead of having to chase them down the next time to sell the latest and greatest hardware that you just created. It's far better, again, to have more recurring revenue, which can fund your new innovations down the line. So with all that said, I hope that you find this video helpful if you are building in the world of sports tech and specifically golf technology. This is a channel that you're going to want to follow. If you've got questions, you got challenges, drop a comment below. I hope you follow along, and we'll see you next time.